Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is a TradingView tutorial on how to go from a beginner to a pro user of TradingView. So this will apply to anyone looking to begin with TradingView, and I'll also throw in a lot of specifics around how I trade using Gann analysis. So if you're looking for something specific, make sure you check out the timestamps in the description down below and keep this as a bookmark or on one of your watch lists so you can come back to this video and learn how to create the charts that I create on the channel. And with that said, make sure you have subscribed if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, hit that bell notification icon so you can be updated with the financial and cryptocurrency markets on a very regular basis. Like that video, I've got Instagram and Twitter, links are down below, and everything that I talk about in the video as well will be linked in order down there so you can use those links as I talk about them in the video. So this is going to focus specifically on TradingView and looking at cryptocurrencies and of course my trading strategy. Along with going from an absolute beginner to professional user of TradingView, this video will cover a lot of commonly asked questions from our community in Patreon, which you'll also find a link to in the description down below, along with TradingView, of course. So what else we'll learn here is going from an absolute beginner to professional user, how to set up the charts and customize them, how to set and delete trades and alerts for buying and selling, which I find as being one of the most important things with TradingView, how to create your own watch list to quickly scan through your markets, obviously to find trading opportunities, how to use TradingView with a cryptocurrency exchange, how I do that as well, and how to set up Gann drawing tools for stop losses and profits. So this is a little more specific into my trading strategy, how to set up tools to record profits and losses, and how to create a daily and weekly routine using TradingView. And obviously, there's going to be a lot more involved as well. So not only is it a TradingView beginner's guide, how to use everything and what's going on, but then how I use it in my own strategies. Now, if you click the link in the description down below for TradingView, you'll come to a page like this. This is your homepage. You want to hit Get Started, and this will come through to the plans. Now, I use the premium plan specifically because there are 400 server-side alerts, and there are a lot of alerts that don't expire. This is important, especially as I trade full-time and do this full-time. Now, if you're just starting out, you can still use the same link and try the free basic. A little tip here, if you try the basic and subscribe to it, make sure you have it on, you're watching your emails to watch all of the emails that come through with the discounts. What that means is TradingView will offer you discounts if you run through the 30 days free trial, and then if you ignore the first email and the second email, they'll continue to give you slightly better discounts. So watch out for those emails, and you can get a discount before things like Black Friday, which is one of the biggest discounts they offer, especially on the premium, which gives you up to 60%. So if you're signing up before or anywhere, anytime that's not Black Friday, try this little secret and you'll see how much discount they give. Generally, it's around 20 to 40%. And as I said, I use premium here. If I'm getting the annual plan, it gives me 2 months off, so it's $5.99. And of course, the major things I really want are all of the alerts, as you'll see in just a moment. And of course, alerts that don't expire so that I can use these at any time in the future as I continue to track a lot of altcoins which haven't popped off just yet. On top of all the alerts, the premium plan also gives you priority support with help desk. So if you have any issues, then at least you can get some support there. Obviously, the free plan is not going to give you that support, but if you're starting with the free and you're going through the steps to get a cheaper plan, then by all means, at least that's a start. Now, the next thing you need is a cryptocurrency exchange so that you can actually make the trades that you're looking at when you're using TradingView. Now, of course, we're looking at TradingView as a beginner to a pro, but definitely have your exchanges set up. Aussies, SwiftX, the link is down below, and internationals, if you're watching this outside of Australia, then there's also Bybit. Huge sign-up bonuses when you use the links down below. The reason I bring this up in a TradingView is, for one, there's affiliate links there that you guys will get discounts on and also free cryptocurrencies. But two, if you are trading, then you definitely need an exchange set up. Otherwise, you're never going to make any money from the markets. Now that we've figured out which plan we need and we have the exchanges set up, ready to go, just going to hit sign up. So once we've done this, email, password, save those somewhere, we go through to the homepage. This is the homepage of TradingView. Now, to be honest, I don't look at any of this stuff. To me, it's all noise. I want to set up my charts and I want to make trades. So I forget about editor's picks. I don't look at market summary. I don't scroll down and look at any of this other stuff. It doesn't help me in my trading. The main thing I want to do is set up a watch list and then also set up my charts so that I have a template on how I can review those. And that's what we're going to go through now. So when you start, you'll have nothing in this watch list. The main one we look at is in the top left, which is the watch list and details. We'll use a couple of these other features in a moment, but the main one is the top one, watch list, because we're going to start building our watch list and of course look at what's on the chart and how to create that chart. So the next thing we want to do is put in the crypto that we want, or any stock or futures market, BTC, US, and I'll choose one of the Bitfinex pairs, the dollar. So I'll click on that and then it'll bring up the chart here. So we've got our first chart up here and we're going to try to get it looking something similar to this, but I'll show you how to change all of the settings as we go and what they're all used for. So you're going to probably have a white background. What we're going to do is go to the top left. There's 3 little horizontal lines and then the dark color theme will be unchecked. So you're going to look something similar to that. That's your white background. So that if you want to change between the two, dark color, click that button right there. And that gives us the dark. Now, if we want to change the candles to bars, it's in the top left again, bars, candles, anything else that you want, line chart, we go to candles. So that's what it's on there. And then I like to change it to bars because that's my trading strategy. I use the bars, not the candles. The other thing I want to get rid of is as much noise as possible. So I have this setting up here, the buy and the sell, right click on that, show buy sell buttons, get rid of that stuff. I also have the price as a dotted horizontal line here. I want to get rid of that straight away. I'm going to double click on that line. That's the last price line. Uncheck that box. So that's a good thing to bring up as well. If you are unsure about any of these things, so this is the chart settings, then you just go through, play around with them. Click them on, click them off. High, low, close bars, click them on, click them off. So we zoom in while you still have the chart settings open, and you can see that it's gotten rid of the open price. So this is the OHLC bars, high, low, close bars. Uncheck that, gives us the open price as well. Color bars based on previous close, we'll click that. So that's just going to color them green or red based on what happened to the previous bar. And then the other settings I can just leave as they are here. Last price we don't need. And we're just going to go through these chart settings. Now, if you forget how to do that, you also have the button up here. Chart properties, top right, the little cog looking icon. So we have one in the top right and then another in the bottom right. And this is used for other things on the chart as well. So let's just use the top right one, chart settings, start from the top, symbols, up color, down color. These are going to be different for everyone. And what I've done in the past is set them on white because I like to remove the noise. Now I know it's not going to be what everyone wants, so you choose the color that you want, choose a color for up, maybe you want green, choose a color for down, maybe you want red. So if you want to change those, like I have in the past, I'll put them both on white because it's not what I need for the strategy, and maybe you come up with a different strategy that you need to have different colored bars. So that's the first thing. So we've got the bars, we've changed them from candles to bars, we've got the colors on there. Now and we've changed the background to a black. Now let's get rid of these horizontal lines. They're completely unnecessary for us. We're going to double click or use actually this cog in the top right. Go to the scale because that's what we're looking at. Sides, the horizontals and the verticals. The thing I want to turn on or off here is the countdown to bar close. You can see it right there, 21 hours to go on this particular bar. So if I click that off, it gets rid of that noise. But I sometimes like to have that on because it just tells me which time frame I'm looking at. And in this case, we're on a daily chart. So we look at the top left, we can click on that and it can show us all the different time frames of the bar that we're looking at. So we've got it on 1 day. We want to change it to 1 week. We can just click on that and each of these bars now will be 1 week. If we want to do that manually, then you just click on the background. You've got nothing here and then go to your keyboard, 1D, enter. That brings us back to 1 day. 1W, enter, brings us to 1 week. If you just hit 1, it's going to automatically go to the minute chart. We definitely don't want that. You can do anything in between when you're on the premium plan. So maybe you want 15 minutes, hit enter, and that's the 15 minutes. So let's just bring it back to 1 day. Use the cog in the top right, go to appearances, And now we have the vertical grid lines and the horizontal grid lines. So this is the color here. And I just move the opacity to 0. So it gets rid of the vertical lines. Then go to the horizontal lines, move the opacity to 0. Okay. And now I've got a clean chart at the back. So my focus here from going from a beginner to a pro is to get rid of as much noise on the chart as possible. You know, in anything to do with investing, there's just way too much noise in the market. And the main thing I want to do is get rid of the noise. All right, so the next thing is I have a whole lot of these indicators up in the top left. Now you might not have any of these on when you start. And to get rid of them, basically just click on close. Well, let's first get one in there. So we go to the top left, and the F and X little icon up here is your indicators. Click on that. And if we want to throw the Bollinger Bands on, we just search Bollinger Bands, favorites. So I have it in favorites already, but some people won't have that. Click Bollinger. All right, now it's already set up here, BB. And you can see it's on my chart. If I want to remove it so I can't see it, but keep it there, the little eye, click that, it removes it. If I want to turn it back on, click the eye again, and it comes back. If I want to get rid of it altogether, then there's a little close button here, remove. So I can just hit remove. If I did it by accident, obviously I just go back up to this, and I've got it in favorites now because I hit the star, and click on it again, and it shows up again. So let's go ahead, get rid of that. So we click that, and we go moving averages, and if you want multiple of them, moving averages, then you can just keep clicking as many as you think you'll need on your chart, and it'll continue to automate these and give you different colors for them. So then you can go ahead and click on the settings for each individual one, go from inputs, style, all this sort of stuff, and then change the length of the moving average. So it's set to 9. If you want a 120 day moving average, 120, and this is set to the time frame that's on this chart. So that's the daily at this point. So we hit OK, and it'll give me a 120 day moving average. So that's a 120 day moving average. You can see come across the chart, hit some nice lows. And if I wanted to make a few more, obviously go to settings, turn this one into a 90 day moving average. OK. And I have another bar. If I want to turn one off and keep one on, obviously use those. Now, if I want to get rid of them all, cross, and just keep hitting the cross until they're all gone. If I want to remove all of this so I have more room on the chart, click the little up arrow. So that is now giving me more space on the chart. The volume is an important one, and yours are going to show up with colors. So to get to my area here of the whites, you want to go into settings, style, and then change the volume color. So you can see the volume's off and now it's on. We're going growing and falling. So the volume going up, going down. Click on this, and now I have it on set to white. So the opacity is here as well. I can make that brighter or weaker, so there's nothing there. And do the same thing for the falling. It's at 50, so I can bring it to 100 or back again. And these are probably going to be set to red and then possibly set to green as well. So you can change these to any color. And again, I like to keep it really basic. I only need white on these because I just need to see whether the volume is equal or greater or lesser than what it was in the previous period, and also the previous period to that. So that's what I'm looking for with this one. Volume MA is just the moving average of the volume. So it shows me whether the volume is increasing or decreasing because I use this in my trading. So volume MA, I've just got it set with a blue. You can set it to any color that you want. The line, thick, thicker, thickest, or just keep it thin. I want to keep as much data off as I possibly can. And then you could set this to any type of line. Line with breaks, step line. I'm not going to screw around with this. Just keep it as line. So that's some of the basics to my chart already. We've looked at the bar, we've looked at the volume, looked at the colors for the volume, the moving average. I want to get rid of this up here now. Just remove that, click it up. As for the bars themselves, the bars are giving us the data up in the top. So let's just go with the highest price here because it's a nice easy one to look at. We can see that this was on the date being at the bottom here, 10th of November, and the crosshair shows us the price on the right hand side. So if I go to the price, it's at 69,000 for the top. Now, if I want to get a more accurate look at that, I look at the top in the middle here where you can see the cursor and hover over the bar that I want to get the reading for. So on this particular exchange, Bitfinex, Bitcoin USD on the 10th of November was sitting at 62,866 for a low price, and for an open 66,937, and then you can see the open, high, low, and close price. And that goes for any bar that you hover over. Now, if you have created something that you don't like on this chart and you want to change it, or just go back to the default, come back up to the cog and then look at the template down at the bottom left, drop that down, apply defaults. So we just click on that, and that brings us all the way back to all of the defaults here. The only difference would be the dark color theme. So if I throw that back on white, that's going to give us the chart that comes up at the beginning, minus all these little bits and pieces here. That's the default for the chart settings. Your same candles, background, volume, and colors. Now, if I want to go back to the other chart, make sure you have already saved that. So you can hit save as, and you make up a name for what it is that you're wanting to create. So I've called mine JP for my name, Gann, because that's my analysis, and then my 2022 settings. So click on that, and it brings me back to all of the settings I had, minus the bars. So I just go back up to the top, candles and bars, drop down these arrows, dark color theme, set that, confirm yes, and now my chart's back to black. The only annoying thing with this is that it brings back all of the vertical and horizontal lines. So I have to go back into settings, back into appearance, vertical grid lines, drop those, okay, and drop these ones out as well. Okay, so now I've got none of them on the background there. That's pretty much setting up the chart how I have it. The last thing is the last price line. Get rid of that thing as well. So I guess it saves some of the settings, but it doesn't save all of them, unfortunately, which is kind of strange, but that's what TradingView has. Pretty easy to go and set up again anyway. So now that we've set up the chart, how we like to view it for our trading strategies, let's go ahead and fix up a watch list of cryptos that we can go and follow. Crypto stocks, whatever it is that you want to trade. So the first thing, I'm on Bitcoin. I'm going to hit right click here. Now I'm going to add this to a watch list, and I don't have any other watch lists in here, so I'm going to hit create new list. And so my new list is JP 2022, call it crypto. All right, so we go save, and this crypto now is saved in the watch list over here. Now, if I want to track a few other cryptocurrencies and I know what they are, let's go and search them here, ETH, US, and we'll find it, say, on the OKX perpetual swap. At this point, it doesn't really matter. We just want to fill up our watch list to watch some of these cryptos. So we do the same thing again, right click, add ETH, USDT, perp to watch list. And now we have a couple of options here. I'm going to go JP 2022 crypto, check that, and there it is. It pops up. Let's put one more in here, and we'll do a crowd favorite being XRP. And we'll look at for the USD. So there's the dollar, and we're going to go right click, add XRP. There it is. So now I've got 3 in my watch list, and you'll note that when I search for them, my chart comes up as the same settings. I have the same bars, I have the same colors, the volume's the same color, everything continues to reload using the same settings. Now there was one other minor setting here which may be different on other on your accounts. And you can see my bars are thin. Remember, I'm always looking at trying to remove the noise from the bar. So I've clicked this bar. So all I've done here is just double click on the bars. I don't always have to click up to this little cog here, but for the ease of it, I just double click on the bars and it shows up under symbols. So it takes me straight to that point. And then I have thin bars checked. So yours might be off, and you can see how thick these bars are. If you prefer that, leave it as that. I don't, I want it on thin, and I just hit the thin bars. Okay, so that gives me the thin bars on the chart. So we're nearly there to set up the charts that I use for my trading strategy. The last thing is looking at some of these drawing tools on the side. At the top here, these are indicators. These are things that we apply to the chart, such as Bollinger Bands, and they just stay on the chart. Now, a little handy hint here is you can see the eye. If you want to just remove the indicators, so these are the things that are preset with particular measurements in them, then you can hide just the indicators. So we can just remove those. And if we want to throw in some drawing tools like a hammer, then we can leave the hammers showing and the indicators will be off, because the hammer is actually a drawing tool. So the left-hand side, these are primarily drawing tools, and this little top one are indicators. So you have to know the difference there if you want to use this function to your advantage. So we want to hide the drawings as well. We hide the drawings. Now the indicators are back. A volume is an indicator. Now if we want to hide both, hide drawings and indicators so that we can clean up the chart and have a look at it fresh on the daily. So let's bring it all back just by clicking this again. We have drawing tools, we have indicators. Let's get rid of the indicator of the Bollinger Band, hit close. So it's gone. And let's have a look at some of the tools, or the drawing tools that I'm going to use. So some of the drawing tools are down below in my favorites bar already, but you won't have this thing here. So to create one of these drawing tools, or these favorites for our drawing tools, we're going to search for the tools that we want to use in the left-hand side. And so first up, I want this tool right here, the fib retracement. So click on this little side arrow, and it's probably going to be the first one that's showing up here anyway. So to make it a favorite, click the little star. All right, so I've unchecked the star, and now I'll click the star again, and you can see it pop up in my little favorites bar that comes along the bottom of the screen. So you can move that anywhere that you want. You want it at the top, you want it at the bottom, to the side, whatever. I keep it down here. So that's one of my favorites. The path tool is another one of my favorites because that allows me to draw the swings. And if I want to find that path tool, it's under these ones here with the brush. The brush will be the default setting, which I have as a highlight. I've got highlighter set, rectangle, ellipse, so that I can circle things on the chart. I also have path, and I want to use the magnet. So magnet's off, magnet is on. That allows you to connect the points of the tool, so they're going to snap to the closest open, high, low, close values of nearby bars. All right, so let's go back to Bitcoin. We're going to click on this one up here. Stretch out the screen just by using the scroll function on your mouse. Hopefully you figured that one out. And this keeps it on auto by clicking the little auto button. Now, if you don't want auto, then you just come to the side here, pull this up and down, or pull this one left to right, and that's going to take it off auto, so you can move the screen around if you're on this tool up here on cross. So now we can pick it up and drag it anywhere we want. We want it back on auto, just click auto. All right. If we want it on logarithmic, then we just click log, and we want to take it off, just click that again. These are going to be the main functions that you're going to use, especially if you're trading cryptocurrencies. You're going to want to use these two at the bottom quite a lot. All right, so let's go back to our path tool. We have the magnet on. We want to draw our swings using our weekly chart. Remember, we hit 1 and W, hit enter, and then we look at where these lows are coming in. So if you want to learn more about this, there's a link in the description down below for TIA Premium. Check it out. This is part of Gann analysis. All right, so we don't want to go back. Just click on this low, click on this next high, and my low, and my high, and low, and high. Now I'm just drawing in all of the swings. And then when I'm finished, you can see that it's still hanging around. I just click on that again, click on the same area, and that stops the tool from continuing to draw more and more lines. So I use that. Some of these lines I have tailored myself. You have a trend line, so I've made them my own settings. So again, I've got it on magnet. I've drawn it from top to top, and you can see it's very faint. And so all I've done here is go through into the style, change the line itself. So you have thick, thicker, thickest. As you can see the dotted line up here. The dots, this one to the side, dashed line, solid line. I'm going to put it back to dot and make it thin. So it's just a faint line because I just want to have a bit of an idea of the guide of some trend lines. I've got it on blue. Now the other thing we can do is extend it left, so it goes backwards. Take that off. We can extend it right, so you can see that it's only on the 2 points, and that's off at the moment, so I want it back on. Show middle point. You can show price labels, which are probably going to come up on the side here. I don't need those, so I want to make sure all of these things are off. These are not necessary for certain things like a trend line. The other thing I use is just an arrow, but I've changed it so there's no arrow point because I want lots of different lines to use. The next thing is another type of trend line. So I've got a different color this time. And so I use those to have them already set up. So I have multiple different lines. So I could have, say, I use my blue as my top and my orange as the bottom. So I continue to use those, or any other strategy that you want. So you just set them up. And if you want to move these around, then you can just hold on them and click them and move them around. So you're customizing your own favorites at the bottom as well. Other things that I use in particular are price ranges. So this one is found, as you can see, in this section of the drawing tools. And you're going to see long position first up here. And it's just going to be some of these further down. click the star on those so I can favorite them, put them at the bottom. And if I'm using it here, bottom to this price range, going to tell me it's about 80%. And this figure over here is the number on the side. So 29,000 to 53,000, approximately $23,000 gain. And then the pips themselves over on this side here. So let's get rid of that. This one is the time frames low. We're going to go to the next low, 13 bars. So it's a weekly, about 91 days, so 3 months. We don't really need to know the volume for this particular scenario, but that's going to tell us the distance that we're using. Now, if you don't want to use this tool stays on the chart. You also have the option of the measuring tool. So click on this. The low to the high is going to tell me all the bars, the days, the same things that the price tells me as well, the percentage and the number itself. But if I click off, then it disappears. So that's the one that I want to use here so that it stays on the chart. That's the one that disappears. So we've covered quite a lot of ground so far. We've been setting up our charts from a beginner to a pro. I'm showing you where the indicators are, where the drawing tools are, and it really just comes down to playing with a lot of these tools to see whether they suit your strategy, or if you don't want them on your chart and you want to, again, keep it simple. So I'm just showing you my most used drawing tools because I use more drawing tools than indicators, which is part of my trading strategy. I prefer not to use the indicators as much because these are set to defaults. And unless you are back testing these particular swings, or sorry, these particular indicators and understand what they do throughout history, then I can't see a use in them moving forward. Possibly things like a moving average or a RSI, a relative strength index, might be handy. But again, unless you've back tested it and found that the lows work for you, if you want to buy just on the RSI at 30 and that works in a plan, all of these things really do need to be tested. There's no holy grail. You can't just click on an RSI and say, I'm going to buy every time it's at a midpoint or sell every time it's at a high point, because generally, you'll probably miss out on a good chunk of the run. So definitely have your plans set up. Now, there's a couple more indicators that I use, which you guys know about, that I'll go through in a second, how to set those up so they look like the way I have them in my videos. But these are the most common indicators that I rarely use, and exactly why I just mentioned that. I showed you where you get the RSI from, the moving averages. The last one is fib extensions and retracements. Now, they can be found in the third pane down. Fib retracements, trend-based fib extensions. So let's start with the fib retracement, and I'll do it from the major low, there it is, to the major high. And when you set up yours, you won't have them looking like this. So to get it looking the way I have it, it's going to be probably a lot of these will be already checked and they'll be all different colors. The way I set it up, because again, I want simplicity. I want to get rid of all these different colors and just keep things nice and simple. I've unchecked all of these boxes. I've changed some of the pricing here. So if I need them later on, like 3 times, I can click on it. I keep all of these other ones white. These are all, even though they look gray, they're actually white when I click onto them. I'm going to turn that one off. So all I have is 0, 0.5, and 1. And I've turned all of these to red. So click on the color, click red, and put the opacity as full. Now there's also a background color on that, and I want to get rid of the background colors. So I extend the lines right, so they go right across the other side of the screen. I don't need them going left. I just want them going right because I'm trading on the right hand side. Use one color. I've just left that. Background. I don't want the background on mine. I just uncheck that box. Reverse, don't need that. It just moves the 1 to the 0 and the 0 to the 1. Doesn't really matter. This is just a calculator. Prices, you can see that they're gone. So I have the prices on. And then levels, that's the percentages, 0, 0.5, and 1. So obviously 0.5 is 50%. It's halfway through that range there. So levels, that's values. You can put it as percentages. There it is, 50%, 0%. But again, I want it on values because I know 0.5 means 50% and it's just less things to look at on the chart. So that's how I set up my fib retracements. Red lines have as least amount of numbers as I possibly can on the chart itself. I just extend it to the right and turn off all of the other extensions here. I don't need any of them. I don't need 200% at the moment because I'm just looking in this range, but I can use those later on. Now the last one I use is the fib extension. So I'm just going to remove this one, and to do that, click on it, hit delete. done. All right, so let's use the fib extension. Again, you'll find it up in the third little section down, the third drop-down window. It's the second one here, trend-based fib, and I want it, so I hit the star, click on it. Now I've got it. You can see it's in blue. It's blue up here as well. Let's do it from the low to this next high and from this current low. So yours again is going to look different to this, and I've set this up to suit my strategy. I've turned them all to red, turned most of these off. I just want some extensions because I use these levels as price resistance levels, such as 1.25, which of course is 125%. If I was turning it on to percentages, then I'll see the percentages on the side here, 100%, 61.8%, 50%, 0%, all right? But again, I want the least amount of numbers on here, so I've just put it on values, and I just know that that's going to be 61.8%, all red, and just take off as many as I can. I might even take this one off here. So I just want 50% at this point, and then and this tool extends the range from the point A, point B, so that's the range, and then it extends it from the point C, so this exact range from that. And now I can look and see where is 100% of this range based on this range here. So 100%, 70,900, 85,000, and 100,000. So if it was to repeat this range here from this point, 200%, it gives me 100,000. Now the beauty about this is it's part of the strategy, especially with Gann analysis, and that's why I use this tool to extend these ranges to give me price projections when there is no other data above, which is price discovery mode. So that's how I set up both of these Gann tools, even though they have the word fib on them. They're Gann because I'm using 50%, and a 50% is not a Fibonacci number. Okay, so we've covered a hell of a lot at this point. This is going from the beginner to the pro. The other thing you're going to need to know is which chart do we look at. Now I've used Bitfinex here because I didn't have any drawing tools on it before, but some people may have drawing tools on it, or they want to find a cryptocurrency which has very low volume. So how do you figure that out? I'm going to look at something like Affinity. All right, so there's Tether here, Affinity versus Tether, because that's the crypto against the US dollar. And you can see that it's on multiple different exchanges. So how do I know which exchange I want to use? There's OKX, there's SushiSwap, there's Poloniex, CoinEx, again OKX with a swap contract, Gemini, etc. So you could just choose the top one, but the main thing I want to do is find the exchange that has the most volume. So this is what I do. So to find the exchange that I want to use when I'm searching, then I go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, put in the cryptocurrency. In this case, we're looking at EFI, Affinity. I've chosen something that's small and a little bit not used as much at the moment as I'm filming this video. And there's no market cap up here. The main thing I'm looking for is the markets. So I just basically, it's from the top, scroll down just a little, markets, and it comes up with all of these different exchanges here. So which one has the most volume? Well, I go across to the right, look at the volume percent. OKX has 29.55% of the traded volume. Gate.io has 22. Now, which exchange do I want to use? Well, that's up to you and which exchange you choose. From my knowledge and from what I can see at the moment, Gate.io these are both Chinese exchanges. Personally, I trust OKX a little more than Gate.io, but that could change in the future. Who knows what happens over there? So I'm going to go with OKX. It has a higher volume. Maybe I've got an account already set up with them and I don't with Gate.io, but maybe I have something set up with SushiSwap instead, and I want to use SushiSwap because there's 12.8% of the trading volume over there, so I can do that instead. But for this one, I want to go OKX. So that's how I've chosen OKX here, and that brings up this chart. And you'd probably see something like this come up because you wouldn't have any of the tools on it, but that's how I'm choosing the exchanges for the cryptocurrencies that I want. So let's go ahead and add this one to our watch list as well. Right click, add EFI to my JP crypto watch list, enter. Now you can see that it's got a little tag flag here that's highlighted as red. I have this one on my watch list that I use here. So I've got a few watch lists with tags on them, and you can do that just by clicking on the side, and that'll go to the red, and then you can choose whichever color, and you might have a different name or grouping for each of these colors. So for me, red is cryptocurrencies. For the other colors, I can see here, blue are my US stocks, green is my Aussie stocks, and purple are my futures markets. So that's primarily futures and forex. So I'm going to go back to my list here, my watch list, and take this off. So our XRP is not going to be on my watch my crypto watch list, but EFI is. So that's why the red is there. Now I've got these on my watch list. The next thing that I had to do was my daily trading routine and weekly routines. This is all part of using TradingView and how you can efficiently use it to be making money from your trading and investing. So we'll use a few examples here. I've got EFI on the chart at the moment. Now, if I open up of a daily morning, this is all closed. I just have TradingView saved as a bookmark. Click on TradingView. So some of my bookmarks up here. Let's click on TradingView. So TradingView takes us across to this page. Then I'm going to go and open up my watch list, and that should just pop up automatically. There we go. These are the cryptos that I'm watching. I'm going to click on EFI to begin. Actually, I'm going to start from the top. So I've got Bitcoin up here, and it's going to bring up this page. Now, this is not what I want. I don't want to just look at this. I want to click on See More on Advanced Chart. So I click that. It opens up the chart. Now, once this chart has been loaded, I'll have all of my indicators, which I've just put on the chart, hopefully load up. There they are. So they've all just loaded up now. And then all I have to do is just check the time frame that I'm on. So if I'm doing my daily routine, open TradingView, review my alerts. These alerts are usually through email. So we're going to open up and put some alerts on these as well. But if I'm opening this and I don't have any alerts, I just check it according to my plan. Nothing there that I need to do, no action I need to take. Let's move on. ETH, click on the next one. Anything there? Nothing there. I can just move on to the next one. XRP, any action I need to take? No. Move on to the next one, and so on. So you just do this through your entire watch list. And that's as quick as I make it when it comes to my daily trading routine using TradingView. Now, let's look at the alerts and adjust these alerts. And then you do this based on your trading plan. So EFI, we have a couple of alerts here. So I've picked this one for a particular reason. Here are the alerts. You can see that my orange alert is now set at 70 cents. Let's just make that a 0. So how did I do that? All right, let's put another one here at around, call it 80 cents. So basically all I've done is just look at my chart. I'm liking 80 cents as an example. It's coming in near these lows. So I'm going to go across, and you can see the little plus. Click on the plus, hit add alert, and the alert's set up there. That's just going to be at that random number that I selected. If I want to make it a specific number, then I find the orange triangle here. You can just barely see it underneath the red, but you can see them here. Double click that, and then underneath the value, 80.59. So let's get rid of the 59. Hover over that, 0. Save. Now we have an alert at 80 cents. So if the market drops to 80 cents, if this market EFI USDT on OKX, not on any other exchange, it has to be on this particular exchange, on this chart, that will send me an email to the inbox that I've selected for this account. So how do I get that? Well, I've opened that up, double clicked it again, send an email. If I don't want the email, uncheck that box. If I want the email, check the box. If I'm on the platform, it'll show me a pop-up. It'll notify me on the app if I've got the app open on my phone. If I don't want any of those, obviously uncheck them, but if I do, leave them on, send me an email. I like that, because if I'm not online, then at least I get the notification that my asset has dropped to that price or risen to the other price, so I can take profits, which we'll talk about. Now, I don't need 80 cents there because my level here is at 70, so I'm going to double click this because I don't want this alert. I'm going to hit delete. Are you sure? Yes. All right, so I've deleted that alert. Now, the alerts, you can find them all in the right-hand side. You can find them all down here. So you can see all the alerts that I have set. And this is why I use the premium version of TradingView, because I use a lot of alerts when it comes to my trading. And if you plan not to use this many alerts, or you found other ways to add alerts, then by all means, go ahead with that. But you can see some of my alerts have been stopped. So if you have some that are stopped and expired, you want to remove them, go to settings. While you're on the alert section, the 3 dots, remove all inactive. Click that one. Let's delete your inactive alerts. Make new ones. Yes. Boom. So deletes all those ones, frees me up a few more there. Remember, I have 400 on this plan. Depending on which plan you are, you're going to have to keep track of how many alerts you have there. So that's pretty much what I'm using for the sidebar here. Watch list and alerts. They're the main two that I'm going to look at the moment. So you can see a lot of the groundwork is done learning about a trading plan, learning how to use those drawing tools, and if you have indicators, look at those indicators as well. And then figuring out how the platform works just by trial and error, clicking on things, screwing it up, coming back to it, continuing to play with it, but just setting it up so you feel super comfortable with it, because the trading routine should be very, very fast, as I just had a look at there. So I got my watch list, I click through my cryptos, my assets, and I just note that, okay, my alerts hadn't been set, they haven't gone off, they haven't sent me an email. There's nothing else I need to do because I don't need to take any action based on my plan. That's how quick it needs to be in the morning or the afternoon, whenever you check your charts. So that's pretty much what it is to the daily trading routine. Weekly, basically going to be similar, except you're going to check it on a weekly basis, and you might have different areas. Say, well, the majors here are above the all-time high and below the major crash at the moment, and the next crash and the next crash, and that's the only areas you're going to watch for. So all the groundwork is done in the preparation. The execution should be very, very quick. So as a recap for your using TradingView from beginner to a pro, and I know it's a slightly different video. If you made it this far, congratulations. That's pretty much a way to look at the tools and the indicators and the charts, and basically setting up your exchanges as well, so that you can use TradingView in a nice, seamless manner to actually make money and not just draw lines, take screenshots and post them on Twitter. You want to be making some money from this. Your time is valuable. This is the list of companies that I use in the description down below. TI Lite is our trading community. Go and check it out if you're interested. TradingView, personally, I use a premium plan. You can start on the free plan and then use the 30-day free trials and just check your emails to see if you get those discounts. They might change it in the future, but at least that's a nice little sneaky way to sign up for annuals or monthlies with those discounts if you have the patience. Crypto exchanges, I use Aussie one, SwiftX, so that I can actually go and execute the alerts in my exchange straight away. Bybit internationally, CoinMarketCap to do research on the coins to pick which cryptos I would look at in terms of the volume and exchanges that I'm using, because I then have to go and set up things like OKX, KuCoin, anything else there where I'm going to find these cryptos on. You could use CoinGecko, of course. They're both good exchanges or both good research platforms to use. Coinly, link down below as well. That's for your tax reporting. If you're going to be going through all of this trading, of course, don't get left high and dry when it comes to reporting your taxes. And of course, custom Gann swing indicator, something I haven't mentioned, I just left it to the end. It is an indicator that we'll be using, and it's coming soon. It's just in the development stage at the moment. There's nothing on TradingView that is the Gann swing indicator at this point in time. Thank you once again. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys at the next video. Until then, have more fun to get more done.